Well, good morning, friends and family, and welcome to our Thursday, September the 19th edition of the Walking with Jesus Discipleship Reader. We are on page 41 of our Part 1 Reader, and we are reading today from Matthew chapter 6, verses 16 through 18, and this is Jesus teaching about fasting. So here we go. And when you fast, don't make it obvious, as the hypocrites do, for they try to look miserable and disheveled so that people will admire them for their fasting. I tell you the truth, that is the only reward they will ever get. But when you fast, comb your hair and wash your face. Then no one will notice that you are fasting except your Father, who knows what you do in private. And your Father, who sees everything, will reward you. So first of all, I want to acknowledge a truth. I've talked about it before. I'll talk about it again. Fasting is not something that we are very fond of. It's not something that we do very often. And in fact, it's not something that I don't know very many people who fully understand. Fasting is our setting aside of something, specifically food, but it could be other things, mostly food, in order that we might be weaker so that God can be stronger in us. And it's interesting because Jesus is talking about people who do this publicly, people who are wanting to be seen doing their fasting. The people that I know who fast very rarely talk about it. More often than not, they talk about it after the fact, how their fasting helped them in their prayer life, how their fasting helped them to get discernment, how their fasting allowed them to grow closer to God so that they could accomplish the spiritual thing that God had set out for them. This morning, I don't know that we have this problem. I'll just be perfectly honest. I don't know that I've ever seen anybody really brag about their fasting. Yes, there is that season of Lent where most of the church encourages its people to take on some kind of a fast. And more often than not, it's things like chocolate or something like that. Those are okay. It's good as a starting practice, but I think we're moving into an age where we need real fasting. We need real prayer, and we need to be a people who are turning towards God, seeking His face, and seeking Him to move in power. I hope we never get back to a place where Jesus needs to call us out because we're being too public with our fasting. But before we get there, I hope that we get to a place where fasting is just a regular part of the church life. And I know it's something that I need to take more seriously. And so I will invite you to join me as we make fasting a part of our daily, and at least weekly and regular spiritual routine. Have a blessed Thursday, and I'll see you tomorrow.